Fun fact, Bree is a little person and lives in a dollhouse.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a special edition of the Beatcast. Had to get the hawk in there. So thanks for joining in tonight. It's something to get a little different than our usual show. This is something that we've wanted to talk about for a while now, and we think it's going to be pretty important information. And full disclosure, I am not, when we talk about Distrokid and all of these different things, I am not 100% expert. I've just had a lot of practice with this, and I've done a lot with it. And I'm going to go through some of the details. And if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in to the chat and I'll go over them with you. And one of the main reasons that really sparked this was because obviously we have, just a plug here. Our Beatcast radio are on Spotify. We have our, why am I blanking on the word? Our playlist on Spotify for the Beatcast radio. And we found when we were asking people to post their links, we were finding that a lot of guys don't have your music on streaming platform. We see a lot of people on Bandcamp, and we don't know if it's because people are kind of intimidated by the process and what to do, or if you were like me originally, where I come from the old school of I'm used to just, pressing up a CD, pressing up a cassette and doing it that way. I've never really had to think about doing anything digital. And it was kind of a bit intimidating. And it took a while before I actually went in and did it and realized this isn't that hard and it's fairly cheap. It's, if you're investing, this is an investment in yourself, an investment in your music. And we'll go over some of the costs on these things. And you'll come to find that the cost is minimal compared to the benefits you get out of this and doing everything. So I want to say what's up to everyone watching. So in here we got Crate Butter. What's happening, man? Like I said, if you guys got questions, feel free to pop in and ask them. And I also today I brought in Beatsmith Medor, who you all know, who is another beat hawk. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Who is also part of the Beatcast community, and he's got his amazing beats. He's got a show he does too with some people out here. We'll have him talk about that. But so I'm gonna go ahead and bring on Beatsmith Medor and do a quick introduction with him. Oh, there we go. Hey, what's happening, man? Oh, we got you muted. There we go.
Still muted?
Yep, I got you now.
Okay, there it is.
Perfect. Yeah.
We live.
So, hey, thanks for joining, man. I'm happy you were able to come in and go through this with me. So to give you guys an idea of Beatsmith, he reached out to me a while back asking questions about Distrokid and how to get music up. And I thought, oh, this is a perfect person to bring on to help me talk about the process. Because he's just went through it and he was scared just like I was. I'm sorry. Not to say you were scared of it. Like he was scared.
Yeah, there's some fear in there. There's some fear in there for sure.
So that's why I wanted to bring him on board to kind of talk about it. But before we get into that, why don't you give us a little background on yourself? Tell us a little bit about you, your production background, or I know your DJ background and your show really quick.
Yeah. Thank you again for having me on. I'm excited about this because I still have a ton of questions to ask. But I am originally from Wyoming. Started getting into hip hop, like doing it when I moved to Northern Colorado. That was in early 2000s. So 99 and 2000 is when I really started just putting in on it. And it was really just started out of a reason to have a good time. Like
Yeah.
me and my friends all listened to hip hop, and we had since the early 90s. And we would freestyle. And then it was like, okay, well, I'm collecting wax, so let's start collecting instrumentals. And then it was like, well, it'd be better if I could just like make my own beats to rap over.
So do you rap too?
Not anymore, man. No,
Okay.
I gave that up. Yeah, like I just honed in on beat making and in DJing
I think that was like a
somewhat.
lot of us who started out. We're like, we all us
Yeah,
producers started out as rappers. We're like, nah,
it's
that
true,
ain't
man.
me.
Beats out of necessity, and then it was like, no, no longer need to rhyme.
Awesome.
I get hit up about it, but I'm not interested. And so yeah. Anyways, been down here since 2010. Was somewhat in the scene in 2010 to 2013, just doing shows and beats for a lot of local MCs, Tucson heads, stuff like that. Um, and then kind of hibernated a little bit and just stayed to myself for a while and just getting back out there and getting back into the community and stuff. And
Awesome.
so
And
now I DJ a show for Gemwork Radio,
mhm.
3 Fridays a month. They do the first Friday in LA, and then I do the rest of them here in Phoenix with Tech the Super Latin and Joe Baggs from Society of Invisibles.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like a lot of us, like me, yeah, Albury, we go back with Joe Baggs a long time, way back in the day. So that's cool. You're working with a really cool dude. Love Joe
Yeah,
Baggs.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Cool.
So
So
it's cool to know that too, because it's crazy to me to like been a part of community for such a long time and still like meet people that know, like I know people, but I've
yeah,
never known them, like it's
yeah,
crazy to me.
yeah.
It's cool though.
um, so so when you hit me up, so what was your reasoning for not posting your music on Spotify before or any of the streaming platforms, and what made you finally say, "Fuck, I got to do this"?
The majority of it is just like you said, it's not necessarily a fear, but just knowing that, these aren't most of my stuff was sampling, and a lot of it was pretty blatant, a lot of vocal sampling that was full on verses and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so I knew like the copyright side of it, but I didn't know enough about like the consequences. How do you go about it? How do you get your stuff cleared? Or wanting to like pay all that, or even get into it. Honestly, I just enjoyed
Mhm.
making the music more than I was worried about getting it out there.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was used to doing, like you said, CDs, tapes, stuff like that. Did
We
that for
didn't have to
years.
worry
Was
about the sample
comfortable.
police.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
no, I feel that. Yeah, it's funny that you brought that because when I first started putting my stuff out in digital, like I didn't even think about copyrights. It was more of just like if it gets flagged, like to me, it's like that's cool. Someone, someone was listening that was supposed to.
Yeah.
But I haven't had any issues with it yet. But you said you had a couple that popped up that were flagged, correct?
Yeah, I had two off of an album I did with my Balance Brothers crew, which is me and Mr. Crane. I had two songs off of that got flagged because of the beats. And I mean, they were blatant samples.
Yeah. So
So
when that happened, what do they do? Does it get caught in the upload process and it kicks it back and says take this off or what happens in that case?
yeah. So when that happens, it it pauses the whole album, and it basically sends it back to you and says these tracks, it'll mark which ones or whatever,
Hmm.
um, need to have more information about your sample. It's basically asking me like, do you have the permission? Do you have some legal agreement that lets you use this? Because we need
Gotcha.
to see it. And if you can't provide something like that for them, then the only option you have is to toast the whole album. So
Mhm.
that part of it kind of sucks because, like I said, I loaded a 17 track album up and it popped two of them. And
So you
in order
can't
to
just
do
take
it, I
those
had to
two
drop the
out.
whole thing. Yeah. You got
Wow.
to
Okay. So
trash the whole
that's
thing and start all over.
okay. So that's good information. Over. Don't let it scare you go, but like I said, I
No,
haven't
definitely
gotten
not.
caught yet. So
Yeah.
cool. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to dive into a few things, and I'm going to share my screen and kind of go through the process of uploading onto Distrokid, what it looks like. And I'm using Distrokid as a sample, just letting you all know that because this is the platform I use. I know there's other programs you can use to distribute your music digitally, but this is what I use, and I think it's the most widely used one. And so, Beatsmith, stop me if you have any questions, or anyone on the chat, if you have any questions, pop them in there. I'm going to share this here.
The Beatcast is brought to you in part by Mixwell Worldwide, the turntable and lifestyle brand going strong since 1997. Patreon. Our patrons directly support the Beatcast. Choose a tier that works best for you and receive items like merch, exclusive sample packs, as well as a direct shout out in our live shows. Patreon.com/The Beatcast. Picking up some new equipment. A portion of anything you purchase through our Zounds affiliate link, located on our website at thebeatcast.com, will directly go to support the Beatcast project. 1 a.m. The Beatcast Sample Pack Volume 1 is available now on our Patreon.
See, Al is a complete professional. He's keeping me on point with that housekeeping stuff. We literally talked about that a few minutes ago, and I completely forgot to run through that. So, Al, thank you for popping that in there for me. All right, so back to business here. So obviously, I've already signed up. So this is what it looks like. This is Distrokid when I log in. It has all my albums here that I've released so far. I think the first one, it was this 2021, I think. Yep, 2021, November 2021. So it took me a while before I started putting my music out there and doing everything. So we'll go through some of this stuff later. So this is the homepage, and then you can see all your splits, and we'll get into splits as far as the percentage of stuff you're working on with other people. And that's what's really cool about these is if you have other artists that you're working with, collabing with that are also with Distrokid, or they're on Spotify or any of the streaming platforms, you could split your royalties with them really easily. And I'll go through on how to do all that in here. So let's just go ahead.
Can I put something on that?
Yeah.
You can also, let's say like I did that for one of the guys that I did the album with. And you can also get them a discounted account that just links them to that one, to just releases that come from you that are split with them. So you can get discounted rate for them through your account if they don't then Distrokid.
Okay, that's good to know. That's really good to know. Yeah, and maybe I'll dive into that before the upload music too. So I never knew that, and that's gonna have to look into that, so I have more information on that. But so let's look at the prices. I almost forgot that, so you reminded me of that. So I'm just gonna go to the upgrade section because it's got the different plans. So there's the 3 different plans. This is your basic one, the musician one, unlimited songs, lyrics. You get the blue check mark in Spotify, and you get your earnings from all your royalty splits here. And this is for one artist account, and it's unlimited, only $20 a year. I mean, you think about that, that is just cheap as hell. Because if you look back at, I mean, how much were we spending to release CDs and cassettes? It was like $1,000, $1,500 to get those together, just to have the physical copies, and paying $20 a year. I mean, this, just don't eat out at McDonald's this week or something, you're good
this
for
week,
a whole year.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. And I went with the Musician Plus. This is the one I have because you have a little bit more going on. Like I can pre-schedule the release dates. I could change the pricing on the iTunes tracks where, it's usually like 99 cents, I think is the base price. But this one you could select what cost you want your different tracks for. You get your ISRC codes, and I'll go into explaining those, the ISRC codes and what that is. Actually, I can jump that right now. So for those who don't know, the ISRC codes, they're like social security numbers for your songs. They get attached to every track. So when you're usually if you're just putting up a new album, you probably don't have an ISRC code yet. Back in the day, before all this, we were getting those codes for all of our songs that we were releasing. So you can still go through that old school route and get those codes outside of these streaming platforms, or the outside of these publishing distribution sites. But yeah, there's so many names, so many things you got to do. So this actually you can customize them and put them in there. So and those are good to have too, because they're not necessarily for collecting royalties. It's more about it's like, you got to think of it, if you have a song called like Rainbows, that's the name of your song. There might be 20 other songs out there called Rainbows that says, okay, this is with this number, that's this song that goes to this. So it categorizes it there. So when people are claiming your music, that they played your music, that's what they use. So that's the one I have. And then you could have 2 different artists, band names that you can upload there. Next is Everything Musician Plan. This is really, if you have a label, or you have a stable, this is what you want to do. You everything up there, plus you have 500 artist bands.
Yeah.
And you think about that, man, Beatsmith, $80 a year, for
a label,
100 artists. Yeah.
I mean, there was one point where I had 4 guys working under my production, like, label, quote unquote label.
Yeah.
And like, that would have been freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So
and let me say this too. Like, I'm praising this like I'm selling it, but not a sponsor.
Same here. I just think it's highly fair.
I just thought of all those other YouTube videos that I watch, and they're like, now let's talk really quick about Distrokid. No, I'm like, we're not getting any money or anything. They haven't talked to us. This isn't about us getting money. This is about getting you guys information. So, but I feel like we're here just selling. No, we're not selling Distrokid. Go to whatever distribution company you want. We don't care if it's Distrokid or someone else. We don't even have any affiliate links, nothing like that. So don't ask us for one, because we don't got them. So that just shows you how real we're keeping it. We're just wanting to give you guys the information. Cool. Yeah. So those are the different plans. So let's just go through the process of your uploading music. This is really important for those of you who've never done this, just to see absolutely how easy this is. And I think this is much simpler than even going through, what is it? Not SoundCloud. Bandcamp. Yeah. It's easier than posting things on Bandcamp. At least I think.
I agree. I thought it was super fast.
Yeah. And then I thought Bandcamp was a little bit more tedious, and you're only streaming to Bandcamp.
Yeah, exactly.
So first option you get is you choose all the different streaming platforms you want to go to. Your big ones: Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, Amazon. Then you got the Apple Music, and then you got all these little ones that I've never even heard of. I don't know what the hell they are. And there's Snapchat. I've never used Snapchat in my life, so I don't even know how that would work.
I think that just like gives them the right to use your stuff in like reels and stuff, because you can.
That makes sense. Yeah, just like Instagram,
some of those little companies that have weird names, that's what they are too. They're more like these third-party firms that do that for them.
Awesome. That's why I brought you on, man. I knew you'd have the info I didn't have.
I might have reached my limit on how much info I have, so don't be surprised.
Cool. So, then you pick how many songs you want to do. I'm just gonna throw 2 songs on there. And then you want to say if they were previously released or not. I mean, if you haven't done it digitally, just hit no. I mean, if you've released it on cassette or something, I would just hit no anyways, because it's never been released digitally. And you put your artist, your band name in there. Obviously, you want to use the one that's associated with your Spotify account. And here's where you set that up. So since I've done this previously, when you go through this for the first time, it will set up your Spotify artist account. It sets up your Apple Music account and your YouTube stuff. It sets all that up for you the first time you post your music. So you don't have to, you still have to go through and kind of customize and go through the process of like setting up your Spotify artist account or your Apple Music account. Like, you still have to log in and go through that, give your information, but this will link it up easily and get it all together for you.
Yep.
So you click all that, all set, put your Instagram information in there, Facebook. This just links all your music to those different accounts. You could do your release dates here, whether you're going to do it right away or if you're going to do it in the future. It's good. It's important. Like, if you really want to promote it, obviously you want to set it for a future date. And do your record label. I'm sorry, I'm going to grab a drink. My throat's getting dry.
while you're taking a drink, I have a question. If you set for a future date, because this, and you'll get into the time period it takes to get on later, but when you set to a future date, do you know if it's live on that date, or
Yeah,
do you still have to wait for it to go live?
no, well, obviously, like you've experienced. If you do it right away, it's still going to take a few days to go live. So when you schedule a date in the future, that's like I found if it's more than 7 days in the future and you set that date, it's going to be released on that date. It's going to be available on all the platforms.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, someone can correct me, but that's in my experience, that's what has happened.
Super cool. Yeah, I haven't released anything that's like future release yet, so I was just curious about that.
And then they give you, they'll give you the timeline. So they'll say, hey, it's ready to go for this release date and all that. So, and if there are any issues, like you saw, they'll tell you there's some issues. There might be delayed. So I've seen those as well.
Okay, cool.
And then we got the space for the album cover here, album title, set your iTunes and Amazon price here for the album. That'd be cool if they do the old school U2 thing where it forces you onto people's Apple Music.
Right.
I would pay like $500 to do that. Get on there.
Just like, get out there.
There's my music. Cool. And then obviously, these genres. Okay. Getting down to the songs. So you got your titles. If you have a feature, you can add them here, the artist and their name. All this different information. As many as you want.
Thing about that I noticed, and I don't know if maybe you have, when you do a feature and you put the artist name in there, you get to the bottom and it's going to ask you for their Spotify artist name, and all you have to do is just go to Spotify and look them up on there, and it'll have their number after their name, copy that and put it in there, and then it links them to it.
Yeah. And you gotta be careful too, because I've seen people who have multiple Spotifys because I think people are putting the wrong information in there.
Yeah.
On that. So it's important that you're getting the correct. So it's good if you're featuring someone to reach out to them directly, to have them give you this information.
Make sure it's the right one.
Yeah, exactly. So version info, if it's radio edit, other, this is all just for details, fine details. And then you upload the file. It gives you the MP3 format and lower quality formats, but always do a WAV. That's the best way to do it, is do a WAV file.
Yeah.
And then if you have your ISRC code, you can plug those in there as well. And then click, I wrote this song, it's all me, it's original tune, or if it's a cover song, you have to put that information in there, and it gives you all the nitty gritty on doing that. I don't really think we're doing cover songs with beats, so we don't have to really worry about that. So, and this is where you put all of your information. If you did the music, obviously put your name in there. If you had other songwriters, you put that information here as well. There's a radio edit, explicit lyrics. All this is important for, I think, for playlists and where they play it, and where they'll stream it as well. So it's important if you have explicit lyrics, make sure to put it on there. If it's an instrumental, put it on there. And then you could select where the preview is. I know you guys know on iTunes where when you do the preview, you can select where you want it, and then the individual track price for that. And then you go through song 2, same thing. And then, so down here, there's some extra stuff you can buy for it. The Discovery Pack is really cool. I always do this one. It's it's like the Grace Note thing. It's like, who is this? Siri, who is this? That sort of thing. It registers you with sound scan for all the Billboard charts and everything. And then I'm not sure exactly what these other ones are, but
I didn't know about any of that. I was like, oh, you're trying to get extra money out of me? I'm out.
yeah.
But so that first one, what is that? That puts you in more places, or it keeps better track of your song?
It'll keep better track of the data for you. And
where it is going.
Yeah. So that's a good one to have there. And then the YouTube content ID, this one is really important too, because if you have your, this is posted on YouTube and then someone goes and makes a song out of it without your recommend, this is where it gets YouTube flags. It says, hey, this isn't your song, even though they threw lyrics over it or something like that. But you also got to be careful with this, because I did have an issue with this where I put out a beat and then I gave it to an MC to use later down the road, and then his got flagged because it was my beat. I had done all this on there, so I had to go through and it was a pain.
That's hilarious.
So keep that in mind when you guys are doing this. And then, so the store maximizer, this is basically when there's new, new streaming services that come around and they're part, and Distrokid distributes to them, they'll automatically add these songs to them. I never do this just because honestly, outside of the big, big four, I don't think anyone's making waves, and it's, to me, it's not worth it. Even at $8 a year, I'm being cheap, but I don't think it's worth it. I mean, what do you think?
I agree with you 100% on that one.
Yeah, it's I'm barely getting people streaming my shit on Spotify. I'm not worried about this little rinky dink one.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. So the social phone number, I don't get this. This is, I guess, for, for promotional purposes, you can have a phone number. Cool. I'm just being real. Nothing I would ever use. Loudness normalization. This is basically your mastering. For us, guys, don't do this. We got Sam Drumlow teaching us how to do this shit right here.
Yes. I was just going to say, these next two things is basically what Sam's already doing, because they're not taking all your tracks tracked out and doing a professional thing. They're just taking the one you sent them, and that's going to enhance it. But yeah, it's the same thing. Sam helped me out with some stuff, and it was the same thing. It was just wow, that easy.
Yeah,
don't pay for that. Don't pay
don't pay the $3 for that. And just to, and on that note, this Sunday, listening with Sam Drumlow. Yes. Joyce, if you want to learn more about that, you save you guys $3 every time you do this. Yeah, that's right. I mean, this is what we do. Don't pay someone else to do what you can do better.
Yeah. Straight up.
Title Master, I think this is for titles because it's a higher quality streaming service. For me personally, no one's listening to myself. I'm not paying that. And then this one, I actually do the Leave a Legacy. This is so, let's say, I hate to be grim, let's say you die and no one's paying your Distrokid fees anymore. This makes sure that it stays on all streaming platforms forever. So this is a good one to have. And then also good if you do have a will and you leave your publishing and all of your writing credits to someone in your family. It's good to have that because it's still getting streamed. You never know, in 50 years down the road, it might become a hit, and someone you want your family to get the money for it.
That's a good point. I never thought about it from that side of things.
Yeah, so I always do that.
Yeah, and I mean it's still what, $50, lifelong royalties coming in.
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, this is your music. You should be, if you want to be taken seriously, you gotta treat it seriously.
Straight up.
And these days, I know money's tight for a lot of people, but $50 is, it's what, 4 cartons of eggs or something like that.
Yeah, or a night out on the town.
Yeah. All right. So, but that's a good time to kind of, maybe I'll jump away from this really fast, and I'll come back to that in a second, but we can talk about, so speaking of all that, royalties and stuff like that, one thing that also I think scares people is ASCAP and BMI, the performance rights organizations. What exactly do they do? Do I need them? And is that a hassle? Is that scary? And the answer is it's not scary. It's easy. It's cheap, and it's definitely worth it if you want to get the most money out of your music. especially if you have music being played in commercials and different places, and you want to really monetize your music in different ways. It's good to have either ASCAP or BMI. So what they do is so for either one, you want to sign up as a writer. The writer is obviously someone who wrote the song, as us beat makers were the ones that created the song, we're the writers. And then you also want to sign up as a publisher. And the publisher is basically saying that you're the person that gets your music on all these different platforms and all these different areas. So if you're not working with a label or a publisher, you're the publisher. And it's important that you do both, because the way ASCAP, I believe BMI is the same way too. Excuse me.
So does this attach your legal name to your artist name then, basically?
Yep, that's exactly
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, so it basically it's attached. So for America, for ASCAP and BMI, there are other national ones. I know we deal with people internationally here on the Beatcast. But you link it with your social, or if you're a corporation or LLC, you link it with that. So it all goes back to you. So if it's just you, you're the sole proprietor, and you're getting your legal name attached to your music.
So when you go on to Distrokid and you're filling all that stuff out, is Distrokid kind of doing that for you with your uploads?
You're getting your streaming royalties, and that's it. It's
okay.
It has nothing to do with the writing credits for anything outside of streaming or publishing. That you're just published to streaming platforms. That's strictly it right there. This is for, if like if you look at the original reason, if someone were to cover your song live at a bar, or if a bar is paying their yearly ASCAP fees to play music in their bar, if your music gets played, you get royalties from that. So it's like, Distrokid isn't collecting that sort of stuff, unless obviously there's just streaming through Spotify. But if they're using like a direct TV, music TV service, something like that. And it's awesome. I don't imagine my music will ever be on those, but you never know. But for us, I think the big part about this for us as beat makers is, if you're really wanting to shop your stuff out to TV, for TV shows, for commercials, or to be anything like that, this is where you're getting your money, through the ASCAP and BMI, writing and publishing. That's where that money's coming from. That's you can't go through Distrokid for that.
Right.
So that's why it's important to have them. And you don't need both. You can have one or the other. If you can't sign up your song to both. You can only do one or the other. So it doesn't make sense to have two. Just do one. With my research, I didn't see any pros or cons or anything like that for either one. It's
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so for signing up for cost for these, it's as a writer, it's free to sign up as a writer. And that's $50 lifetime for a publisher. So this is another one of those things. It's like, why aren't you doing it? It's so cheap.
Oh, wow.
And not only that, it's all done online. You create an online account and you go through the process of signing up, putting all your legal information in there, and you're set. It gives you, and you get your ASCAP codes and stuff like that. So it's important that you don't lose this information, and to get back into your account and save all that. Because let's say like in my experience, I have a song, a beat I did for someone, and it's actually going to be used on a big platform here, hopefully coming up soon. They're in contracts for it. So it's like I had to give them my ASCAP information so that I get my writer's royalties from that. I'm not getting publishing from that because I will want their shot at, and doing that, I didn't get that deal. So I'm just getting my part of the writing percentages on that. So if I didn't have ASCAP, I wouldn't, they would have no way of being able to pay it and get it to me other than, a handshake. Yeah, I'll send you some money here every once in a while, with the artist. So this is going direct, the legal route. So that's why it's important, even if you don't think you need, for this, for me, it was like just out of nowhere. I was like, oh shit, we did this song like a year and a half ago. Okay, cool. Yeah. And so, I mean, if you guys also, if you guys are shopping your stuff out to video games and stuff like that, you need your ASCAP and BMI information, because that's the first thing they're going to ask for, is all of that information. So Yeah, so as a writer and as a publisher, and then if you got someone that's shopping your stuff around, they're going to take some of the publishing percentage as well. But this is the thing too, that people think that they could just sign up as a writer. You're only getting half your royalties, because when ASCAP pays out royalties, you have your 100% pie. 50% goes to the writer, 50% goes to the publisher. So if you're only signed up as a writer, there's just that 50% publishing just sitting there, you're not getting paid for. So it's, just pay the $50, one-time $50 fee. So just to collect that, you're missing out on half your money.
And so at that point, like, how does that, do you have to then start uploading your music to their site, or what is that?
Yeah, you have to do your song information. So basically it's like you have an online account with ASCAP. I'm talking about ASCAP. I haven't done BMI. I went with ASCAP. But I imagine it's the same exact thing with BMI, but you log in, you enter in all of your song information. This is where like the ISRIC codes come into play, and all that. So it links everything together. So you just submit that this is mine as a writer, this is mine as a publisher, that sort of thing. So you don't have to do that every time you put out a song, but if you put out an album, it's a good idea to throw that out there, because you never know. It's just have it ready to go. You might end up on a playlist, and some marketing guy hears your song and wants to use it for a commercial. You're already good to go. It's like, oh yeah, it's uploaded. It's here. Here's my information.
Yeah.
So that's ASCAP BMI stuff. And
so having Distrokid create that code for you makes it easier for you to just take it from there and just drop it into your ASCAP.
Yeah, and then the ASCAP BMI, that's all linked to your socials. So I mean, you're definitely getting that. No one else is going to be trying to get that stuff. So let me go back to Distrokid. Just go over the few tools. We don't have too much left on Distrokid. Excuse me. All right, so that was, we went upload an album. That's what we did. So what's really cool about the second tier of this, the Musician Plus, the one for 35 a year, is that you have your daily stats. I love, especially after I put out an album, I love looking at the stats, and I'm not embarrassed to show my little numbers here.
Honestly, I haven't even looked at them. I have not even thought to go look at them.
So yeah, you could jump between it. It's really cool, man. I honestly will look. There was a time where I was looking every morning, waking up, I would get excited as hell just to see one more extra play. So you can jump between which ones you want. So I'm looking at my Spotify numbers for the last 365 days, 60 days, 7 days. And just to do another plug, having my music available and us streaming it on our playlist really helped jump these numbers up. And those of you who are on there, I'm sure you saw that as well. So that's,
I had an incredibly high number on February 13th for some reason.
Yeah, there you go.
I had 10 total plays on the 12th, I had 97 on the 13th, and I had 8 on the 14th.
And what's really cool, if you're looking at your Spotify for Artists app or your Spotify for Artists account, you can actually see what came from playlists, what plays came from playlists too. So you can track, it's like, oh shit, all that did come from the Beatcast playlist.
Right.
So we can dive into that a little bit later, but so there's, you can jump back and forth. You choose which artist you're getting the information from, and then, oh, it's making me log in. Never mind. I don't need to do that. So, so there's the Spotify. You can look at your Apple Music numbers and see all that there as well. So it's good having all this information. And then it's cool to see if you do promotions on like Instagram, you could jump back here and look to see if they helped. And then let's jump into, so you can also see your split. I have a couple songs I've done with people. So this shows you how to do them. Let's say on my album 100 Days, I did a track with someone, then I'll just go, you can go back and add people if you didn't already do that after you uploaded your album. You could do it all right here.
Yep.
The other important thing is the bank. You can see all of your money, and you can see how we are getting screwed as artists.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, man,
Look at
you
all
got a lot of money in there because I
all
got
those
zero.
plays. This is I've never taken money out in the 2 or 3 years I've been using this, and
Yeah.
I got almost $9. I can retire here. So yeah, it's so you can see the breakdown on everything on where they came from. So these were all from all my solo ones. This track I did with Lost Perception, the track I produced for Knock. You can see all the plays from those and where the money's coming from, and then you could just link this up with direct deposit with your bank and do that. Another thing is there's a lot of cool tools that they have here as well to help promote. These all are all new. I haven't really looked at these. So that's that mastering. Like I said, we don't need this mastering. We got
Yes.
Sam Drumlow.
Yep.
Sam Drumlow. We got the Distrokid music video distribution. So they must be getting into that. I can't talk on that because I don't know anything about it. So Get Heard Now. This is really cool because these are different things where you can try to get on different playlists for different streaming platforms. There's the Wheel of Playlist where it's kind of like, let me just find a song and then I might be able to hop on one of their playlists. Oh, I got to sign in the link. But it's just different ways.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't know about any of that.
Yeah, because I've ended up on a couple of the Distrokid playlists, just from doing that. And you don't stay on terribly long, but it's cool that you get a different audience listening to your stuff. So you can have your different landing pages you make for your music. So you have your page, which will link to everything. So if I click on the link, it's going to show. So you guys, I'm sure have seen these on Instagram, all that. So all of this is created through. Oh, it didn't pop up. It popped up a new window, but basically these are all the links that you could share on your streaming platforms, and it'll show all the links for each separate streaming platform. So it has it all there. So they take care of a lot of stuff for you. What else is under the promote now? You can make your mini videos. These are really cool. These are also what you see like for the Instagram stories, but your art, when you go through here, you can pick what song you want to do, what background, and
So it makes like an Instagram reel for you.
Yeah.
That's
So it
crazy.
does all that for you.
Man, see, like some of these I've heard and I've talked to people in the chat room that are like talking about their videos for the beat submissions and how like they don't really like that part of it. Like if you're on DistroKid, use it up.
Yeah, the problem is I think this will only give you like the little 5-second, ones. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do a whole one on here unless they've added something where you can. I haven't used these ones in a while because I haven't put out an album.
I see.
Unfortunately,
I didn't realize it was so short. That's pretty dope though.
Yeah, but it's good for making those quick little Instagram stories. There's a video generator here. Maybe that's what this is. Yeah, music video generator. Looks like shit. They got it all for us.
Yeah, that's what it was. I came across that. I haven't used it or anything, but I thought there was something in there about it.
Yeah, so I mean, you're getting a lot of tools for that little bit amount of money you're paying every year. Let's see what special access was. Yeah, so these are all your different accounts. So if you want to get your Spotify details, get Spotify for Artists. It's an app on your phone too. So you can this is where you can get your geographic locations where people are listening at your stuff from. Whether your stuff is on playlist. This is also where you can customize your Spotify page. So when some of the songs that they have the videos that play in the background, you can add those through the Spotify for Artists. You could actually do that through here as well. I don't know where it is. Maybe it is in Answer Music. Yeah, the Spotify Canvas generator. This is what makes those little Spotify videos that play in the background. So if you want to make your...
That's cool.
Yeah. So maybe I'm getting on too many details on here and all this, but I think this will be helpful for people who've never been in here and wondering if it's going to be a waste of their money or not. But it's definitely worth it. There's all this cool stuff in here. You got your YouTube artist channel you can log into and look at your stats there. Same for Apple Music, and I don't know what the Twitch ones are about. I've never done those. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, so that's it for Distrokid there.
Man, I would say like the cost of it, even if you go with the single artist, if you're just a single artist, it's $20.
Mm-hmm.
But going with that next level one up, I didn't even know about all that stuff that you just went through.
Yeah.
And I thought it was totally worth it just on the I could upload in the way I could split and track it through the main page about all these goodies and stuff they had bonus in there. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because before I found them, I would see people make these videos. I was like, that's pretty cool. Then I noticed a little, because they'll do their little Distrokid watermark on there. You know, there's it doesn't look like you could pay to not have that, but it's not that big a deal. I think it actually shows you that people that he's got his shit together. He's using Distrokid, getting his music out there.
I think it's dope.
Yeah, and
makes it easier.
They give you that blue check mark for Spotify. Everyone knows how important the blue check mark is.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to go over on the show. Just keeping this all short and sweet. I actually think we went into more stuff than I thought we would. But yeah, did you have any questions or anything like that? Anything that?
No. I mean, I thought I learned a lot of stuff that I hadn't known, and I've uploaded quite a bit of stuff on here, but I haven't got into all the bonuses. Like I said, I think that was the highlight for me. Mm-hmm. Just realizing all these other things, and then the ASCAP BMI thing. Like, I'm gonna get on board with that like ASAP, because like I just never knew anything about it. I've always seen them on, you see them on the back of people's records, you see them on their credits. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you'll see them on their CDs, and you don't really, or for me, I never really thought of like, well, where is that? Like, how do you do that?
Or why is that?
Yeah, exactly. Like, who did that? Like, who chose to put that there? Now I get it. Like, that's their livelihood, and the extra $49 for a good project of yours, maybe not for single songs, but for like if you put a project together and spending that $49 for the legacy thing, like, game over. Like you said, you could, if you have kids, you can will your musical rights to them. And that's dope. It just makes things so much easier to be more professional with your music. Yeah. And make something.
Yeah. And then
get heard.
Yeah. Everyone will take you more seriously too. And I think especially us as beat makers, it's important to have all these things. It's because we don't have to rely on other people. We're all pretty well rounded and be able to do stuff ourselves. This is just kind of the icing on top, taking care of all this stuff. And it's just simple. I mean, you can't be worried about it. Don't think about the money. Just, if you only do Distrokid right now, just do Distrokid. Then later down the road, add your ASCAP BMI stuff and all these little things here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing music for almost 25 years now, and I've never done any of this stuff. So there you go. Yeah. It's never too late, and it's never too early either. So it's just going to happen when it's supposed to.
Yeah, and then you also, and I mean, you want to think. I think it's just a good mindset to be in, to think big. Think I do need this stuff. I'm gonna need it. Don't box yourself in. So Soft Cannibal had a question. It says, if you're sampling, do you ever put the original writer's info in anywhere, as in who you sampled? That is, I am just gonna come from the camp of I'm just trying to get away with it. I've never cleared anything. So Soft Campbell, I'm sorry, I can't answer that for you. Because I've never taken that route, never tried to do it. But that is a great question. Maybe I'll look into that and figure that out. I don't think, actually, I'm sure that's probably where you probably have to go about doing it and doing there somehow, but how to get that information. That's a really good question though.
I think
But
I
yeah.
think it definitely would be that it would take you on the path where you would probably be asking them for rights to use it.
Mhm.
I think it would
Yeah.
just make that connection happen much faster.
Yeah, and I think so. Or even use stuff like TrackLib, or maybe they've talked you through it. but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm still
I
from
haven't.
the trying to get away with shit. That's what I'm
Copyright
doing.
criminal for life,
Yeah,
probably.
exactly. And if I get
I mean,
stopped
no
and
disrespect.
yeah, um, yeah, South Campbell says he has the same mindset unless you blow up. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like if I do get hit for some shit like that, fucking hey, man, I'm doing something.
That's right. I'm
Like
getting
I'll
hurt.
yeah, it's like cool. You want if I made some money off this and you want half of it or even 75% of it, I'm happy just to be and I'll learn. Okay, I won't be sampling shit like that anymore. but but that's cool. I'm all about giving people their dues and giving people their money, but I think I'm just it's on a level where it's going to be pennies to someone who at this point. And I hate because I said you think big, but at the same time I'm realistic.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So Squirm Dog, so he asked, he says he joined a little late, what tier would you suggest for this? So I'm going to jump back to this image here. So the one I do is I actually do the second tier, the Musician Plus, just because I get the daily stats in here, the customizable pricing and the customizable ISRC codes. You'll get ISRC codes with the one, but this one you customize if you already have stuff and you want to edit it. It's just for a few dollars more. It just makes sense to have this. And then if you're working under two artist names, if you're a solo artist and then maybe you have a group, you can release them all under this one. So I would just suggest going with Musician Plus. But if you just want to get started, do something really fast, just get some music, or if you're just doing singles, maybe you're only releasing one thing a year, I think the musician plan would be all right. But if you're really planning on doing a lot in that year, I would just go ahead and jump it up to the Musician Plus. And
Yeah,
unfortunately, with the money I made in streaming, it hasn't covered any of my costs yet, but
it's getting close.
it's getting close. I give it a couple more years.
Even with the Musician Plus, save yourself $2, get a homie to go half with you, and then you both get all these extra benefits, and you save $2 on a regular plan. So
yeah, exactly.
I would go Musician Plus also. That's what I did, and I did it for a reason that you stated. Like I have my solo stuff, and then I released my crew stuff on the second one, but it's worth it all day if you can do it. And it's yearly.
Mm-hmm. Yearly, yearly.
This is only $35 a year.
Yeah.
No.
So it's not like the ASCAP, or at least the ASCAP was only a $50 lifetime fee.
Yeah.
And so thanks, man, for joining me on this and keeping it roll along. I know I'd be pretty boring if I was here by myself, just talking to people. So I appreciate you taking the time to come on and give us your experience. And to all you out there, all you Beat Hawks, thanks for tuning in. I hope you learned something. And the replay will be available here. It's going to be available to our. And a quick thank you to all of our patrons joining us on Patreon. You could join there as well. So let's thank you. So Beat Smith, you were one of our first. Messy Goods, Tigre, Disgraceland, RC Peters, Prat, Pablo Station, Mark Chai, Little Treasures, Filth Spectre, Ant Architecture, Ali, Zilla Beats, Press Rewind. I'm sick, sorry guys. Who is this? Q No Rap Name, J Lingua, and Equality 725. Thanks guys for being a part of that. And with that, we have our sample pack that we get. This one's available now, the 1 a.m. the Beatcast sample pack. Beatsmith, I popped in one of your lives. We're using that.
Yeah, it's dope. It's got some dope sounds on it.
And then we have our next one coming up here really soon, the 2 a.m. The volume 2, and we have some other ones in the works. We'll be announcing those soon. And again, the whole reason for the show right here is get on Spotify, get on our playlist, get on everyone else's playlist, not ours. look, see how easy it is here to do this. So, all of you guys listening, thanks for joining. The replay will be available first on Patreon. And for the, I believe it's for the first level tier, you can get the replay right away, and then it'll be available on YouTube down the road here. When I say down the road, I don't mean like a year from now. I mean a few days from now. but if you want this right away and watch this replay right away, just go up there and you can get it right away, along with our other standard shows, our bi-weekly shows, as well as the Sam Drumlow Listens sessions. Those are available right away as well through Patreon. I didn't leave that on very long. Sorry, Sam. There you go. Deep in thought there. And he's going to show you we don't have to pay Distrokid to master our shit for us. We can do it ourselves. Cool.
That's right.
All right, everyone. Beat Smith Medor, thank you, man. Take it easy. Real quick, give out your what's your Instagram? Where can people find you at?
Everything's basically at Beat Smith Medor, just like it says in the corner, MEDORE. Look me up there. Hit me up on here.
We can find links to your to the radio to the stream as well through there.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
I got all my links in my bio. I just use Linktree. So awesome. That's at Beat Smith Medor also.
Perfect. All right, you and me, we're gonna link up and go digging because you're just around the corner. Yeah. So we'll make that happen.
Hell yeah, we are. That's right.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. Take it easy.
Peace.